Hello, thanks a lot, and thanks for my sisters who already spoke. And I agree. I don't think that we can speak about feminist foreign policies without speaking about the political microeconomic approach, and and definitely the ecological and the climate lens of it, which is actually doesn't. I cannot say it is exist in a proper way. It's not only the SRHR, but it's we need to understand the austerity impacts on women. We need to understand the debt impacts on women, and we need to understand the climate impacts on women. And my only problem is, well, I'll tell you my own story. I was following and I was invited to participate in the process of the German feminist foreign policy since the first beginning. And I was very ambitious, and it was sort of because we are invited as voices from the global south as feminists, so it has the sense of inclusion and transparency, but yet still it's only on papers. And this is not me judging. This is the reality. I'm representing feminists from the MENA region, which you all know that we are living under war, and the war that it is expanding and expanding and expanding. And just yesterday, women, children were melting alive in their tents in Palestine. So, and yet, what the feminist foreign policy did to these women? Nothing. The German, for example, federal representation was one of the first to vote against seizing the fire, either in the EU or the UN. So that actually tells us a lot about how the intention. I mean, like, I'm not. I mean, like, good, very good for Germany, for Sweden, for the US to have a foreign feminist foreign policy, but yet still foreign for whom? Because when it comes to implication, when it comes to reality, when it comes to the what is really happening on the ground, there is nothing. In contraire, they are endorsing violence. Voting against ceasefire is endorsing violence against women. And it's not only about the human rights based approach, it's about the feminist based approach. Feminist based approach is the I believe is more inclusion even than because of the intersectional sense, more inclusive than the human rights based approach. But yet still, this is apparently something due to the status quo that we are only raising and discussing among us in the global south. But what is the real impact? I mean, like, is under the genocide time that we're living under, and the climate crisis, or as my colleague Emilia always say, the ecological collapse that we're living under. Can we see this implication? No, we can't. We can't, because it doesn't exist. The first thing that Sweden did after the Russia-Ukrainian war is to cut on the feminist budget. This was the first thing, for the sake of the militarization and the budget for military. That was the first thing to be done, and that will be always the first thing that will give us a sense on how what is the priority of this feminist policies and approaches. um and I now have a belief that it was only a tick on the box. I mean, if we are in our countries, I'm speaking, if I was a northern country, if we are in our countries living in peace, that is very good. Let's put a foreign policy for people to know that we're feminist, and that's it. But is really from the global south, benefiting us in any time. I mean, like, and please do not speak about women economical empowerment, like entrepreneurs and this kind of, or even women participating in the political spaces in our countries, because it's actually related to more colonial approach. You will find that it's always related to the programs that the IMF is imposing in our country, related to projects that is implemented by the World Bank and other, طبعا EBRD or EIB or whatever, the European arms of development are. So it is a colonial approach, and I mean, like, I don't want to use the term new colonial because the colonialism didn't end, but it is taking different reforms, different forms, as we can say now under the name of the feminist foreign policies and other policies around. Going back to the region that I'm coming from, there is war everywhere. Women and children are the most, I mean, the wood of this fire, unfortunately. And if we're speaking about aid as a central part of the central approaches of the foreign feminist policies, it doesn't even exist. Doesn't exist in Sudan. We know nothing about Sudan. It doesn't exist in definitely Palestine, and now we're having Lebanon on board. So I will stop here and open for the questions. Thank you.